apologies, but welcome back to VFL in the Paint by Volunteer Roadshow. So thank you to all our viewers that's watching Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or if you just logged in to volunteerroadshow.com. We definitely appreciate you. Today we got myself, Alexis Hornbuckle, of course, my man's Jarnell Stokes, and J May is in the building. So we're gonna have a great show today. Shout out to our sponsors, Hound Dogs of Knoxville, Kingston Pike, and the Tennessee Tap House. So thank y'all so much for allowing us to put on the show. Like, Jarnell, like, what up? What we got, man?
What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate the introduction, Lex. Glad to have my old teammate Jeronne here. Like, man, that's my dog. That's
Thank you.
reason. Yeah, for sure. It's a big reason why I came to Knox. And I mean, we just hit it off. Well, they used to call us the Bruise Brothers, right?
Yeah, bro. We probably had 1,000 names. That was stuck though. That was stuck.
Yeah, exactly. But how's it going, J May? What's going? You in Knox right now, right?
I mean, yes, sir. I mean, everything's been going well. First of all, I want to thank both of y'all for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate it. It's a great thing what y'all doing. But yeah, I just moved back to Knoxville. Got here about a month ago. Got a job. Moved back because of a job. I get a chance to use my psychology degree. I'll be a family intervention specialist. I know it's a fancy name. I know. So I'll get a chance to do that. Really impact some people. Hopefully.
What got you into that?
Well, it was kind of. I've always been this way.
I can
you
see
know.
that.
A learner of sorts. It wasn't until a couple years ago where I just realized that, my passion in life is to teach. You feel me? So as far as I move my life and progress, that's what I want to put my focus on is teaching and kind of just trying to give perspective to others and continuously to learn, because I think that's the best way to continue to advance.
Yeah, I know you said
like for sure. Man. We need more of that.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and I think that'll happen. But it's the people that look like us and that look like me and that come from where I'm come from that's willing to get advice, because sometimes it'll be a person that don't look like us willing to get advice, but we're not receptive to it. You know what I mean? Just because it's like, what do you know? We get in that thought process, and it's kind of hard for us to let information come in and seep into our soul when we got a wall up because of the person that's trying to give it to us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's real. Hey, let me ask you this then. Like, where do you think that wall came from? Like, because I remember back in college, and I was just saying that I can see this being your major all the way. I mean, shit, you taught me a lot, bro. Like, a lot of it was hard lessons. Something like, Lex, can you believe me and Jeronne got in like 2 or 3 fights while we was in college? Like,
yeah, bro.
Yeah, I believe that.
And it was all love.
I mean,
though. It was all love it then. But
I think that aggression come from it's built up. It's over time. Like if you like I say, if you lifting weights for week 1, you know what I'm saying, your hands, they start to feel a little different. You start to see a little bit of callus. Week 2, more callus, and you like, where is this callus coming from? It's just build up. It's over time. It's, you know what I mean? So it's like, as a kid, you growing up, and it may not be strictly from your parents. It could be just from like teachers, your past coaches. It can be from past relationships with friends. Whatever the case is, it's built up over time that you develop a tough exterior for anything that negative that you deem negative in your mind. You know what I mean? And people, they all think different. So each wall may have a different, secret compartment to it. So you gotta find that. You gotta find that, and not break it down, but you gotta chip away at it, because you can't just go through a problem, or you can't just go through a wall. Ain't nobody Hulkamania running through walls right now. You know what I mean? So with that being the case, it's a slow process. Just like it was with you, me and you, our relationship, it didn't happen right away, because I wouldn't say that you wasn't receptive to it, but you was like, I don't know him. You know what I mean? He's older. I mean, because think about the time that you came in. Think about the time that you came in onto the team, Jarnell.
Yeah.
You came in, was it mid-season?
Yep.
We played Kentucky, 2 weeks? 2 weeks from the time you came? Like, think about that. And you was on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You was a major factor in that game. Yeah. So it's like, we had a slow process to build up, because granted, we was able to communicate, but it's not to the extent that we are now. So it's like, it's a slow process, and that's when anything.
That's 100. That's 100. Well, do you have any advice for any kids that, could be, planning on going to college, or I know you did some coaching at Missouri and you also coached while you was in Wisconsin after college. You know, just and you were able to see different perspectives from being a player to a coach. I've yet to get that coach perspective, but you know, I'm sure it's some devil in the details for sure. Any advice to the kids out there listening?
Hey, not just the kids though, the parents too, because like it being in the high school coaching world and AAU coaching world, from the babies all the way up to seniors, like what can you offer to the parents as well to help these kids? Because these kids are different, man. These kids are different.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's pros and cons to everything, you know, and then especially moving forward now through COVID, it's going to be interesting to see how they do recruiting visits and how they allocate money for those kind of things. Like, because sometimes it may not be what it seems once you get there. You know what I mean? So I say to the parents and the players, be strategic on and intentional on the visits that you take and the kind of conversations that you're having right now, because you know, right now everything is new. Everything is new. It's because there's so much uncertainty surrounding everything right now. We don't know what's what, you know what I mean? And so the guidelines that used to be the guidelines ain't the guidelines no more, if that makes sense. So with that being the case, for the parents, for sure, make sure you know yourself before you enter into those worlds and having those conversations with those coaches, because some of these coaches ain't just there for your baby, you know, and some of them coaches, they don't have the best interest at heart for you, or have the best intentions surrounding your son after a year or two, or after he leaves, I mean, or whatever the situation may be. So it's like the biggest thing in it all is probably the kid making sure you voicing your opinions and utilizing your mind, because you the one got to be there for 4 years, or be under that coach, or deal with them directly. Your parents don't. So make sure you voicing your opinions and what you expect. And parents, make sure you know yourself before you enter into that environment, because it can get sticky.
Yeah, and I would say, honestly, just to tag along on what you said, like you gotta be committed. You know, a lot of kids have commitment issues early because everything is so at the tip of my fingers. Like it happens in the blink of an eye. Everything is instant. Everything is right now. And when you get challenged or you get disciplined for the first time, it's like, oh no, I gotta. Well, my mom or dad would never talk to me like that, or you know what I mean. Kids that's never been held accountable, and they don't really know what the true meaning of commitment and what it feels like, man. I don't know about y'all, but I wanted to transfer, and everybody I've ever talked to that's played college ball has thought about transferring or leaving at least once, minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And don't though.
Okay, Lex. Okay, but think about this. Like, so let's say you're a high major, and you're being recruited like you're a high major. So the coach is going to, sweep you off your feet, and they're going to pursue you like you high major, right? And they're going to do everything in their power to make sure they woo you, make sure, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you got butterflies in your stomach when you think about that university. So with that being the case, do you not feel like that's part of the university's part in making these kids feel the way they feel and act the way they act when they get there?
I mean, yes, but that's why you need people in place that can get a hold of these kids and talk to them and do some type of training, or, people like us need to reach back, or at least put people in place, almost like a college prep program where you say, hey,
that's what I'm saying.
This is what's going to happen. This is what we do. Like me, my dad, our organization, my girlfriend, Sandra Garcia, like, she played Division I. She played professional. I played Division I. I played professional. My dad was an original Nike coach, man. He's helped over like 80 plus girls get to college. So we get it, but there's not a lot of us out there. You get what I'm saying? It's not a lot of y'all out there. So it's people are doing it for the money, man, instead of the kids.
I think kids should be able to transfer that 100%. They should be able to treat it
without penalty, right? Without penalty, like no penalty,
exactly.
like
it depends on the reason.
It's all business.
Really? I mean, if they allow you one transfer, I don't think it really matters the reason.
If they allow you the one that they do give you, yes, okay, that's cool, right?
I mean, if
that's your one. I'm talking about people that be hopping though. Come on, Jay, mate. People that
I think the second one should be penalized harshly. You feel me? Like me, I don't think I played more than 2.5 years of basketball. I probably played 3 years of college basketball because of my transfer year, and I had to sit out. It was a whole bunch around that situation. And I probably wish I would have paid more attention to it, or at least been more hands-on in my own transfer process, because I think I missed out on a lot of floor time. You know what I'm saying? Not even saying I would have been on the floor, honestly, because I had to work my way back into the player that I became, because I let my mind get away from me. Because I let coaches, get in and kind of changed my philosophy and my direction of who I was. And so that was my fault. I take full responsibility for that. But I think I wish, so I'm saying all the players need to be more hands-on, because things happen right under your nose, and you probably have feelings about them, and you probably want to say something, but you probably can't articulate that, and it's probably frustrating. So it's probably best that you figure out now, when you're not in that situation, and you try to understand those situations before they happen.
Mm-hmm. Hey, J-May, let me ask you this: How do you feel your philosophy changed while you was in college? Because shit, I thought you was a dog, man. I always felt like you would be in the pros if it wasn't for your knee. But let me ask you, I did have a year off when I was with the Nuggets, like my first time being injured, and it immediately took me back to, damn, I remember when Jeronne was injured, he had to sit out. I can only imagine at that point what you was going through. But now, I'm like, you can easily just lose your mind and go different places. So tell me more about that.
When I first got injured, I mean, because granted, it was my first real injury. I've never missed a game. I've never missed a tournament, AAU, none of that. Rolled ankle, sprained knee, none of that. Like, I've always been able to get out on the floor and do my thing. So when I got that injury that sat me down, it was new for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really new for me. So I had to really, even then, I'm the type of person that I'm very curious about who I am, because you never really know who you are until that situation is right in front of you, and you got to make a decision, or it's gonna make a decision for you. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those. So it was like I never really understood who I was until I had to sit down and lean into myself and really see the pain that either was built up or that was behind the door, or whatever the case was, because it was all I had time to do was think. And really just contemplate my life and my future and what's next. And so, your brain, it can go into a million different avenues if you let it, you know what I mean? But I had to be intentional in the fact that I had to direct my thoughts, because I was letting my mind wander at a point where it was hard to, get up and want to be on time for rehab and want to talk to people, because I'm like, I don't need to have these relationships no more, just because my life is over. Type, you know what I'm saying? So
identity crisis.
Yeah, bro. It was really
shaky.
It was really shaky for a point, but I was like, hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. Like, for real, I really had to snap in, because I talk to myself all the time, and I wasn't really talking to myself. I was letting myself talk to I was letting my outcome overweigh me, like what happened, oh man, I ain't gonna be this no more, I ain't gonna hide this no more, it was a lot of thoughts, you know what I mean, detrimental thoughts to my life, that I was like, no, you gotta stop that, because that's not who you is. And then I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's you still him.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, I locked back in, and I had my thoughts were just being intentional. I was gonna get back. I was gonna do this. My life's still gonna be this. I wasn't going. So once you lock back in, I think it's all about who you are as a person. You gotta want to know who you are, because that fight or flight is real, bro. Is like Lex, that fight or flight. Yeah. When you faced with it, there is, you can't think about it, because your body goes right to it. It's what you know. You know what I mean? It's innately in you. You know what I'm saying? You wake up with it. So it's like, if that's the case, I chose to fight, and I encourage everybody else to really figure out who you are, because every day something's gonna challenge you, and it's gonna present something new on you that you either got to deal with or you're gonna run from. So
that's a fact. That's a fact. And the one up that we have as athletes and competitors is like you say, that fight or flight has been instilled in us since the day we picked up whatever your first sport was. Since that day, especially if it was a team sport, now you understand, listen, I'm not going to be the weak link. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be the liability. And when it's just you and your personal life and your personal struggles, man, I've broken my wrist. I practically got kicked out of the WNBA. You know, I've been lied on. I done been cheated out of money, like all of that, and it made me question who I was as an athlete. Like, wait a minute. Like, I know what I'm capable of. Why they doing me like this? Why? And then it just took time for me to say, what are you doing? How can you change the situation? Right. So you got to do
Right.
things that you can control. So I had to, I had to pour out. You know what I mean? Some people don't understand. You've been taking in so much, especially in our situation, being volunteers, being having people on a professional level and agents and friends and family and coaches pour into us. You gotta pour out too, so you can have room to continue to get things and get refilled and continue to grow.
Say that. Say that. Say that.
You know what I'm saying? Otherwise,
That's a word. That's a word.
yeah, things are coming into you and it's just spilling right back out without you being able to take it in and get something back. And that's not selfish. People think that's selfish. That's not selfish. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else. You cannot help anybody. That goes from your
Right.
mental health to your physical and spiritual health. Like, you have to be in tune with you and God, whoever you serve, and then you go from there.
Yeah, I remember that time when I was with the Nuggets. It was like my 4th year in the league, and like I was backing down JaVale McGee. And like at this time in my life, I was like close to starting because at this time they were about to trade Kenneth Faried, and I was behind everything. Like I had just got traded from the Grizzlies. I got traded from the Heat. So I was kind of going through this self-identity crisis too. Then I go with the Nuggets and my career kind of take off. But then I get in a situation where, I end up getting a stretch fracture in the play versus JaVale McGee. Like, who else? But then again,
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of my time in Knox. I mean, literally, like after that, they just let me go the next day. And I had to, go and be a regular person. You know what I'm saying? So all my demons kind of caught up. Like I thought I was this special person. And shit, it was like I started relating to how you felt back then, because it was even hard for me to come around Knox. Like I
Yeah.
skipped the trip. Like I even said, I don't even want to do the summer camp one year. And it wasn't, it was a lot of reasons, but a big reason why was because of that self-identity crisis. I mean, I'm walking around Tennessee like I'm the king. You know what I'm saying? Then, I get there now and it's just like either you did it or you didn't. And now I can finally say that I don't care. That
I
I am
love it, bro.
happy regardless, bro. Like, yeah.
I
That's the
love it.
greatest part right there.
That's
And yeah.
that's. Hey, if I was next to you, bro, I'll give you a fist pound, bro, because that's solid work, bro. That's solid work. You did a lot of introspection to get to where you at right now, bro. You built yourself up, and that's what it takes. Because we can't rely on somebody else to do it. The next person, your mama, to do it, because they all got their own demons that they dealing with that they probably haven't expressed to you yet. Just like everybody else is dealing with weight. So we all walk around with weight on our shoulders, and we can't really expect the next person to understand it. So you got to do it for yourself. And I'm proud of you, bro. I mean, I always want to tell you that. Like, I'm gonna keep telling you that every time I talk to you. I'm proud of you, bro, because you came a
Good
long
luck.
way, especially from because people don't know. People don't know we had a lot of moments, bro, where it could have went another way. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We
exactly.
had a lot of moments. It could have been another way, bro. And
Sure.
I'm glad that we got to the point where we at. You know what I mean? And we went through what we went through. You know what I mean? Because it was worth it. I promise you.
Yeah, and a big part of why I was able to change was that I changed my circle. I mean, I was able to also,
Mhm.
change my habits, but
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty much a point where I stopped hanging out with athletes, some of these LA role models. I let them go. I turned down a lot of my hood friends from in the past that I was just holding on to, because I still wanted to, share that side. And I just fully attacked, you know, business partnerships, producers, actors. And now I'm realizing, like, at first there was a time when I really wholeheartedly thought that I couldn't do shit else but play basketball. Like
Yeah.
me, Shy Jarnell, who can't articulate, can't speak, can't read. My reading level in college was like fucking middle school, bro. Like seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I'm telling you the power of how to, change your life. I literally put myself, I'm in acting class and I'm like around
That's
10,
beautiful.
and they all and they're all famous. And I'm like, that just makes me feel like, damn, like I lived, I did something with my life, and I can really turn this thing around. Now I'm around businessmen, and you know that their life isn't what's up either. I mean, they all. So what I'm trying to say is I'm learning that everybody has gone through some stuff, and the only way to get out of it is, you know, what wakes you up in the morning. You know, what habits, what you put into yourself is what you put out. I literally couldn't do it if I had never hurt my foot. So,
Mm.
and I'm in a position where now I'm just like, man, I'm happy I did it. Like I'm excited to be outside the NBA right now because I got my brain, bro. Like for the longest, like I was
Yep.
miserable at Tennessee because I didn't have my brain. So even if I had made $100 million and I didn't have any morals or I didn't have my brain, I would still be miserable. Seriously, dog.
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm at right now.
That's a fact, and I don't know if y'all just tuning in or y'all been listening, but yeah, a couple great things just happened here. So two things in our society and in our culture as black people, black men don't really show open appreciation, love, and respect all the time for other black men, right? Because you really taught to keep in your emotions. So I'm just like happy over here. Like number one, great representation of what the VFL and LVFL family really looks and sounds like. And number two, just thank y'all for setting great examples for young black kings who are looking up to you or listening, or even other older men that are like, hey, you know what? That makes sense. That's legit. You know, you might have just helped somebody change their whole thought process today. And we all know that true change, true success starts up here in the mind. You know, what you think, how you feel becomes what you do. You know, if you're psyching yourself out and you're scared and you're living through fear, it ain't going to happen. And y'all both just talked about stepping outside of those comfort zones. I loved it, man. That was just great shit right there.
That's what's up. Jeronne, you remember
Yeah.
that time we got the fighting pick? It was the year we went to the Sweet 16. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
had, yeah, I remember,
It
man.
was
I apologize. Like that was for real. Like, cause I was kind of insecure. I'm not gonna lie to you. What happened was, like, there was Jeronne's first time back, so I knew we was gonna have to play each other battle all year. I'm like, cause last year he had sat out, and next thing you know, we playing pickup, and all the Lady Vols walked through. So, and I'm like, shit, my girl over there, you know what I'm saying? So Jeronne, you know, doing him on 10, we going at each other, and shit, I just wasn't ready today. So I just kind of panicked, and we got into it. But what was you about to say, J May?
I said, no, I remember it like it was yesterday, bro. But
Yeah.
you know, like I said, bro, it was all needed. It really was, because if certain things don't happen and we don't get a different perspective of one another, and we just look at each other like, okay, he's him and I'm me. No, bro, I need to understand you. I need to understand how you learn, how you grow, how you tick. So if I did something intentionally, because granted, I don't think I was being as intentional with my actions and my words as I am now, but I think I still was on the path, something similar. So I feel like I was doing everything on purpose in those moments. So, and whatever outcome happened needed to happen. But you know, I never did anything with a malicious heart or anything to
And
to
that's
hurt
what
you.
I didn't get. I didn't
Yeah,
get that back then, man. That's what I wish I would have known. You know, two alphas going at it like that. You
yeah.
know, we could have
I mean,
even did more.
but like I said though, it probably helped. It probably helped you in a way that you compartmentalize it and you took it for something different, and it probably helped you grow in a different aspect. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because I took it in a way, and it helped me grow in a certain aspect. So, like I said, we went to the Sweet 16 at the end of that year, so it motivated us to continue to go hard, because as you knew, that probably showed you every day you're gonna have to come to work with me. You know what I mean? Especially with me being back, and this is my last season. We might as well go at it then every day. If this is what it's gonna be, we might as well make it happen every day.
Big difference from you and me, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I mean, because you like as good as and big as my man Yim is, it was not enough. It was not enough.
Exactly. It made me worse, bro, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, I
look back,
bet, bro.
I got
He
off.
used to get fouled every time, bro. It
Exactly.
was sickening. It
Yeah.
was sickening.
Yeah, it was light work. That's what I'm saying. That's
It
what's up,
was
though.
light work.
Yeah, hey, let me ask you, and this kind of switch the subject off basketball, and when we talk about things like this, because it's just a hot topic right now. We try to keep it as relative as possible. What's your thoughts on the Black Lives Matter movement and everything that's going on with politics? You know, Joe Biden and Trump in office, and just got Kamala and all the rioting, and it's just weird times, man. What are your thoughts, and what's going on in NFL, NBA? I mean, they just booed a bunch of players.
Yeah, I think everything that's going on right now is I don't want to say it's unfortunate, but it's not really something to frown upon, because the times are very exciting right now, because there's so much uncertainty around everything. Like I said, the world we once woke up in don't exist no more. So the rules and the rules of engagement that we finna proceed and see is going to be different. It's going to be unique, and hopefully Trump's get out of office. I don't want him there. Any person that chooses to blatantly lie to you to your face, and you choose to believe it, that's a whole conversation that I don't want to be a part of, because as a grown man, you have things that you allow and things that you choose to allow. I can't choose to allow a man to lie to my face, and I'm supposed to respect it. I mean, I can understand a liar, because that's who you are. That's what you want to get over. You want to make it seem like it's something that it's not. I understand that, but I can't respect that. Not coming from where I was from and how I was raised. So it's just like, he has the doctor, and then he's contradicting everything that the health officials are saying. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I have a huge problem with that, and that's my biggest thing, that I think everybody should get out and vote this year. You know what I mean? And they've been doing a really funny thing with the mail. I haven't been really keeping up on those headlines, but I have read a story, and I don't like, I'm from my vote is still registered in Wisconsin, even though I'm down here in Knoxville. So I had a absentee ballot, and I had to mail it back and everything. So I don't even know how safe my vote is and everything like that, but we'll see come November. So it's just a lot going on right now, but it's not a better time in America to be Black, I think, because we have so much power and so much confidence right now that we're overfilled, and we need to continue to fill one another up with that kind of confidence. It's like, it's unfortunate that we kind of feel some kind of way when we see a group of us, but it's like times are moving forward, and the thought process has to be, I'm being inclusive even with my own, because sometimes we do their work for them, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? When we don't have to, when it should be, when I see you, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Rather than I'm defensive. You know what I mean? So it's small, subtle things that, that we as human beings, on a day-to-day, on a small scale, can change and implement on our day-to-day path that may make a difference. Why wait for him to smile or her to smile first? Why can't I smile first? You know what I mean? Just some small, some very minuscule, you know what I mean, that you can change, and then you probably see a change in your own life because your thoughts are starting to change. You know what I mean? So it's just like on a smaller scale. But you say you mentioned the NFL and the NBA.
Did you see that?
I think that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's because it's 90% Black, and it's only the players are talking. I mean, we see the owners and the GMs, they in the crowd, and they at the games. Let's pull in after games, right in, and let's get right into it. Let's hear your comments and your thoughts, because we know the players. It's on their jerseys. They got the phrases. They got the,
Yeah.
I haven't really
make you feel like.
Go ahead, Jarnell. My bad.
I was gonna say it. Now it kind of make you feel like the fact that they not saying nothing, that they talking behind our back.
But that's what's happening, man. That's what's happening. That's why they're not saying anything. They're playing the part. Hey, I'll allow my team and players to wear this uniform and to speak their mind, but as long as I'm not publicly backing them, then our organization isn't backing
right.
them. Like, people don't understand that. Like, basically, it's like, let me throw you a little bone, and I hope this is good enough. Nah, man, I need a full meal. What is this?
Yeah.
Like, I need the whole thing.
I was on with Jeff Coleman last weekend. He was trying to make the case that it's good for basketball to be on in football because the Black Lives Matter is on the court. So we're making the Black Lives Matter mainstream. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a blanket statement. You know, it's just like, I'm just giving y'all something that y'all so y'all ain't got nothing to sleep on. Like, no, like if everybody really feels the way they feel in their organization, they put out a strong statement, but it has no name attached. That's just you know what I'm saying. That's the organization. I want to hear from the people that have direct access to make chess pieces move. You know what I mean? Like if I'm talking to pawns all day, I ain't granted, I don't want to call the players pawns, but from the but I'm saying from like the chess aspect, because obviously what I'm saying, the king and the queen, I mean the king, the big pieces, they not making anything, they not making any comments, and I just feel like it's not hurtful, because any comments about arresting the officers that killed Breonna Taylor, and so on and so forth, that's positive. We need that. The more the merrier. Pile it on. You know what I'm saying? But we need those people back there who really have been in those rooms and strategizing on how to either push it forward or neutralize it. We need to hear from those people, because regardless if you're telling the truth or you lying, something's going to convey to us. We're going to get something out of your vernacular that you might not want us to get out of it, but we gonna take it. We gonna notice that. You know what I mean? Like your body language. You might give us something that you're not telling us, so we gonna read more into that. Or you might tell us the truth and we might be satisfied with that. You know what I mean? So, but we need people that's sitting at the table having those strategic meetings and actually hearing the conversations that we all want to be privy to. You know what I mean? To get that same information.
Well, we gotta get the racists out of the leading law enforcement.
How? I think that's impossible.
It's systemic. I mean, it's a long line. I get it, but I'm saying those changes aren't really going to be made, even if they arrest them. We know the outcome: a little bit of jail time, maybe community service, probation, paid leave. You still gonna get your benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is no type of punishment.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate to say it, and I hope it doesn't happen, but people think that some of us have started to riot, which really isn't true. Like 80 to 90% of most of the peaceful protests are actually peaceful, and we're not the ones that make it unpeaceful. Are you kidding me? So my bad, my fault. Without
you good. That's fact.
But I don't know how we do it, and it's not going to happen overnight, but I know it starts with us as a community. And when I say us, I do mean Black people, but I mean us as in like-minded individuals that lead with love. I don't care if you're white, Black, Hispanic, Latino, French. I don't really care. What I'm saying when I say us in this aspect, I mean us as people of Christ, people who are God-fearing people who love to help other people that see what's happening and want to make a change. We have to start making that change. Whether we start getting people to run in certain positions for office as independent, that's fine. As long as we can start to back them as a community, that it's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think we can start there.
That's true. That's facts right there. That's strong. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's an answer though. Like I know a lot of people would say like go vote. And
you gotta vote though. You gotta vote.
Is that the answer? Like
it's a
I think it's a part of the answer. It's like part 2B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't win a championship in the NCAA or professional your first day of training camp or your first day of preseason. It's only a part, right? Everything you do it adds up. It's a puzzle piece, right? It's like Jeronne said, like it's like chess. Everything is strategic. So if you strategically move, statistically, you're placing yourself in a position to do better, period. And that's what we're trying to do until more and more people start to see like, hey, I can be a part of doing better. I can do better. Forget how I was raised. Forget the bullshit history and lies that they taught us growing up in school. I have to do my own homework. I have to question everything. And sometimes what I believe will stay exactly the same. And sometimes I'll question what I believe and what I've been taught. And sometimes I'll just have to denounce what the hell it is that I just learned, because I'm like, wait a minute, that don't make sense. Or why was I thinking like this? But again, it's a part of the puzzle.
Yeah, that's strong. That's strong. Let me ask you this: Has Philip Farmer came out and said anything?
Oh, Bobby,
You talking to me?
Yeah. I ain't been paying attention. Yeah, I'm curious.
has he?
To my knowledge, I don't know. Granted, I just got back down here, so I probably, if he did, it's probably, if it is in the past, I haven't read up on it.
I haven't seen that, but I don't want to lie to y'all. And so if y'all got this answer, like, let us know. I'm asking our producer right now, Bobby. What do you? No, yeah, I think that in itself says probably not. The fact that we got 4 volunteer fans, like, nah, I don't think it's happened. But I'm not gonna say it hasn't because I don't know for sure. He might have made a blurb or something in a newspaper or in an interview. So I'm not dogging Philip at all.
I think a big reason why we do this show is because I remember like I said earlier when I was in college, I wanted to say a lot, but I just couldn't. I couldn't articulate. So now here we are, alumni. What'd you say?
I said too much.
Facts. So here we are now as alumni, trying to figure out, how can we be a part, how we can help, and help these kids articulate. And I'm wondering, now the Vol Football League, and I don't know. I talked to Tom, I talked to Rick Barnes back when a lot of this Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, and I asked, what's Tom is our media relations person. He said Tennessee is probably the most outspoken university as far as letting the players talk and have a voice. They have these, I forgot the name. They have these programs where the players, the leaders of the teams could, voice their opinions. And I looked at some of these videos, I'm like, nobody is getting anything out of that. We needed to come from the articulate, the leaders, like literally it comes from the top down. And I'm a big reason that kind of woke me up, something that I kind of wanted to talk about back in college was, like I saw where, they were buying these multi-million-dollar facilities for us to go run and stretch and put our legs in, to make it cold and recover and shit. And it's just like, you walk off campus a couple blocks, it's a lot of homeless people in downtown Knoxville. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people struggling out in this world, and you see multi-million-dollar facilities. I don't know. Like, I just feel a little iffy about that. So that puts me in this call to action to where I just feel like, it's as an alumni, like I couldn't do it when I was there, but like, let's try to do something. Let's put together some type of plan of action. Now I don't have the answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm ranting, but what's the answer though? That's what I'm trying to come to. What's the answer though? That's what I'm trying to come to.
It's really hard to pinpoint an answer when it's a question so broad with so many different, possibilities and outcomes. So I think the best we could do is do the best that we can do when we can do it. And whatever that means to you, I think, because everybody really, and I hate to be vague, but everybody's in a different or a unique situation that's either going to enable them to be the best them, or enable them to, not enable them, but or have them retreat. That going back to the fight or flight. Because right now, think about it. You either going to stand up for what you believe in or let the masses overcome you, Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's scary times still, because it's a lot of anxiety and telling somebody and what you feel and how you see things in your world and how your reality is and what your perception is of things that's going on around you, and you got to stand on it, because people gonna deny your reality. How many times people denied your reality growing up and telling you you're not who you think you are, or what you feel ain't valid? You know what I mean? So if that's the case, people gonna continue to deny your reality. So people already got built up anxiety around, telling them who they are in the first place. So that's why people stay so closed off. So with that being the case, it's a lot of uncertainty around it. So I say, do what you can do when you can do it. And that means, if you feel the courage to go all out and be that person that's going to be out there and protesting on the front line, go do that. If you feel like you want to be on the blogs, go do that. If you feel like you want to make videos and make, do surveys, put out, or work for people who campaigning, go do that. Whatever you feel, go do that. Do it while you can. I appreciate you, Jarnell. I appreciate you, Lex. Thank you for having me on the show. if anybody want to get into, there's a partner with this Learn to Win platform app, selling it to all college teams, high school teams, AAU programs, any coaches. We're really big in football right now, but we trying to get big on the basketball side. The app is essentially a Rosetta Stone of game time scouting, terminology, PDF, anything. This is an app for coaches who like to teach, and want to find out how their players learn. Now, Johnny, I think this would have been really good for me and you on our team, because we had a lot of guys who learned differently than others. And, I'm not saying that we could have been Final Four team, but we should have been a Final Four team, But, I think this app allows you to be 1% better in areas that some teams lack on carryover. So if you want to get in touch with me about that, you can email me at Jeronne@learntowin.us. But if you're anywhere in the Knoxville area and you got kids who looking for skill training, I'm doing basketball skill training over at B Mays Elite. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at jmayman40@gmail.com. Once again, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, y'all. Thanks for joining in. Had a great show just now with Jay Mays. Thank you for everybody that watched, commented, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or if you just logged into volunteerroadshow.com. Definitely a big shout out again to our sponsors, Hound Dogs of Knoxville and Tennessee Tap House. We appreciate you allowing us to continue to do what we do. We're staying Sam strong, long guard, get you some gear, help us, and we'll see you next time. Jarnell, you got anything for the people before we head out?
Yeah, most def. I'm heading to Knox. It's about to go down. Back to the where it all started. But yeah. I'm appreciate you guys, staying with us, and we'll be back Saturday for another show.